All right, let's get it. Coming up on today's Philadelphia 76ers. Now, a new and great Joel Embiid injury update as he's back on the court lifting weights. And then lastly, how do the Sixers fill their two open roster spots? For all of the Ricky Council stands, you're going to like this one. As for Joel Embiid, a positive update on this front. This has me really, really excited. According to ESPN's Katie George, Embiid has, quote, started on-court workouts and began lifting 100% of the weight that he lifted prior to the injury. If you think about that for a moment, he's now back on the court working out a little bit, and he's starting to lift the same amount of weight that he was prior to the knee surgery. The arrow can only be pointing up for all of our optimisms, right? Reevaluation, is going to come a little bit later this week. So that's going to be yet another step in this process to see where Joel Embiid is specifically in trying to come back off this surgical repair to his knee, which has held him out for a little while. But Philadelphia sneakily had a really, really solid weekend, and they're trying to escape this non-Embiid stretch, keeping their heads above water. And specifically, I was very impressed with that win over the Dallas Mavericks. Hopefully, they can continue to do that. Now, type 21 if you're excited for Joel Embiid to come back. If he comes back on the floor, let's say with some wiggle room leading up to the NBA playoffs, you really have to like where the Sixers could be positioned here. Now, you look at the Eastern Conference standings, Jalen Brunson suffering a knee injury, non-contact, Sunday night against the Cleveland Cavaliers. So we'll see what happens with the Knicks in that 4th spot. I hate to say this because it pains me to say this. It might be the Boston Celtics here. 48-12, beat the Warriors by 50 points. And when I say they beat the Warriors, they beat the brakes off of Golden State as Jaylen Brown was just in fuego. I think by far and away, they're the top team in the East, an 8-game lead over the Boston Celtics in that 1-2 position. But really outside of that, some of the spots in the East are up for grabs. So if Philadelphia can continue to just manage without Joel Embiid and just not tank the rest of the year, and he comes back, he's able to work on his fitness with a couple of regular season outings to improve his stamina. Think about who the Sixers are getting back into the lineup here. Before going out, Embiid was balling. 35 points per, 11 rebounds. His assist numbers and passing ability really got so much better with Nick Nurse as head coach in this system. And his numbers from the field, very good. His numbers for a 7-footer from three-point range, always going to be very, very valuable, considering that he has that two-way impact offensively and defensively. He's that big, good from three, and is a knockdown free throw shooter as well. With that, I ask you this, and I want you to be honest with me down in the comment section here. Should the Sixers hold Embiid out until the NBA playoffs? If possible, and if you don't risk further injury, I'd like to see him coming back. Yes or no? Let me know. Sixers' upcoming schedule, some winnable games here. Nets are bad. Grizzlies are awful. Pelicans are average. Those are 3 games that you can win. You take on the Knicks back-to-back on the 10th and 12th of March. We'll see what happens with Jalen Brunson. You have that game against the Milwaukee Bucks you lost as Glenn Rivers made his return to the Wells Fargo Center and Patrick Beverley was talking that shit. You have another winnable game against the Charlotte Hornets on the 16th. The Heat have been mid this year. You take on Miami on the 18th. Suns, but who knows with Devin Booker. He suffered an ankle injury over the weekend. And then you go on the road as part of that West Coast swing to play the Los Angeles Lakers. So, interesting stuff there on the Sixers schedule, some winnable games, and that, of course, makes this Joel Embiid situation also very interesting. Now, coming up around the bend, the Sixers have 2 open roster spots right now. How should Philadelphia fill them? Stay tuned for that, but first, today's 76ers now is sponsored by Factor. My running streak just got past 300 days, and I was able to do that because I eat right and I fuel up with healthy food thanks to Factor. Their delicious, ready-to-eat meals make eating better every day easy. Wherever tomorrow takes you, be ready with pre-prepared, chef-crafted, and dietitian-approved meals delivered straight to your door. You're going to have over 35 different options a week to choose from, including keto, calorie smart, vegan, and veggie. All that and more. And there's even more to enjoy with over 55 nutrition-packed add-ons that help make your weekly meal planning even more delicious. What are you waiting for? Get started today and have a feel-good week of meals ready to go. What's cool about Factor? These meals are ready to go in just a couple of minutes, so you can fuel up fast with Factor's restaurant-quality meals that are ready to heat and eat whenever you are. Snacks, smoothies, and more. You can discover a wide variety of easy options for the entire day, like breakfast, midday bites, and more. Here's the deal. We want to tell you about this deal. 50% off if you go to Sixers Chat 50 using that promo code. The link is factormeals.com/Sixers Chat 50. We've been flashing you all of these salivating meals. We care about you and your health, and we want you to save money. So go to factormeals.com/Sixers Chat 50. Use the code Sixers Chat 50. We're going to put that link down below in the comment section, as well as in the description of this video. Get hooked up and fuel up with Factor today. Now, as I noted before we paid our bills here on the show, candidates to fill the 2 open roster spots for Philadelphia after Dariuz Bazley's 10-day contract expired. With just 13 players on standard deals, Sixers have 12 days to sign somebody else. Now, the first one seems obvious, right? You sign Ricky Council to an NBA contract. I've been very impressed with what he's been able to do. High flyer, very active, not a good three-point shooter, but can he work on that element of his game? When he's gotten some run, I was impressed as a rotation piece. 11 games played here in February, a lot of them coming of late because that's when he started to earn those minutes following the All-Star break. So 13 minutes per, 8.5 points per, 3.1 rebounds a contest, 52% from the field. You'll certainly take that. And with Ricky Council IV, obviously he has a long way to go. But he's not going to cost you all that much money. He showed you a good sample size of what he could be. He's impacted the game in a couple of different areas, and he's a pretty intriguing option. So I'm saying sign him because I think with a young piece like this, you want to see how he can develop. Should the 76ers sign Ricky Council? Sign or pass? I'm going sign here because I want to continue to see what he can become under this coaching staff. Now, who can fill the last roster spot here for the 76ers? Internally, externally? Let's go externally here. Free agent targets. You have Tony Bradley, a former Sixer. He's certainly an option. He's not going to move the needle all that much, but he's at least on this list. Robin Lopez is probably the most accomplished among these players and the most experienced. You could throw him into the mix as well. Chimezie Metu is also a center who's done some decent things throughout his NBA career. So too is JaMychal Green, who last year was playing for the Golden State Warriors. He's a forward center hybrid who can stretch the floor, knock down some threes. And then there's Derek Favors, too, who was drafted high out of Wake Forest, came into the league with pedigree, did some decent things early in his career. But the league has kind of passed him by a little bit because he never developed a three-point shot. Clearly, at this moment in time, there are not many options left in free agency. At this point, you're just looking to add another body who's really not even going to play all that much. And speaking of that 5 spot, Mo Bamba's starting right now. Paul Reed's been coming in off the bench. I thought over the weekend, Paul Reed had 2 really, really quality games, and maybe he got the note from Nick Nurse that he started to have to play better, and he has. So who would you sign if you were the Sixers? Drop a name down below in the comments section. As always, we appreciate everybody for watching here. Don't forget to subscribe for daily and year-round coverage of the Philadelphia 76ers. Appreciate everybody for rocking with us.